This blip vert is about remixing. And it can be applied to any situation where you need to take a product and reshape it so it can hit a new target market. Yes, this is about business and marketing. I will be referring to the band requesting the remix as the client, because a client is somebody who's under your protection. This is only my personal experience. This is only my perspective. Other artists will have a different point of view. They're gonna disagree with me. But after a whole bunch of years of remixing, I have come to the conclusion that remixing is not an art. It's a commodity. This is a marketing exercise and there are rules. I have taken this approach because it addresses common problems that I see when I get remixes back from remixing artists. Sometimes a remixer does not consider the outcome of the track, how it will sit on the release, but I can't stress enough that I want the unique sound of that band in the remix. That's the whole point. But there is a huge difference between honing your sound to help your client expand their market and masturbating. The purpose of a remix is to take an already existing track and repackage it for a different market. Example, take a regular album track and make it into a club anthem, or turn a future pop song into a cyber industrial remix. Not many clients realize this, and not many remixers realize this. One of my favorite remixes ever is Twister by Severed Heads, remixed by Robert Racic in 1992. You can hear the full version on Severed Heads' Bandcamp, and the link is in the description. Now, listen to the original. And listen to Robert Racic's brilliant remix. Pay attention to how the remixer treats the original, how he changes the arrangement, which pieces of the original music he keeps, what vocals he keeps, how he affects and treats them, the dynamics, the way it peaks and the way it drops. The original track has been completely resculpted to target clubs, and this remix nailed it. When I remix, my job is to remix the client's track so that my audience will like it, the DJs who like me will want to play it, and hence I'm going to introduce my client to my market. I need to make my audience aware that my client's band exists, and I'm going to encourage my audience to go and to support them and back them. My client's job is to tell their market about me, encourage their market to check me out. So both bands are now promoting each other, and the rock juices are flowing and the audiences are growing and promotion happens. Your remix is an opportunity to reach the audience of your client and to introduce them to your sound while using the familiar base of your client's music. Once the client's album is out, promote the release. Your client will greatly appreciate this. This will make you look good to the client and keep your audience interested with new music, so it looks like you're always doing cool new stuff. Okay, how to get started. When you start remixing, you'll probably be remixing for free, and this will be about getting your name out there, getting exposure, all that jazz. Once you have a handle on it, you'll start swapping remixes with other bands. If you are doing it for swaps, try and pick bands that are on your level or slightly higher, as they can expose you to a larger audience and pull you up the ladder. Once your remixing skills are killing it, you can charge a fee. But I would advise that your fee comes with some kind of a promotional push, because ultimately that's what a remix is for. Remember, remixing is a tool for promotion and productivity and awesomeness. So even if you're not charging, have a professional mindset. Building the remix. Firstly, ask your client, what's the target? Is it for clubs? If it is for clubs, it must be 120 to 140 BPM. If it's for radio, it can be a little faster than that. It's safe to assume that it's going to be for clubs because bands need exposure in clubs. So that's 120 to 140. Ask your client about the other tracks that are being remixed. Who else is on the release? How many artists are also remixing the track that you are remixing? If another band is remixing the same track that you are, Push your remix hard. Cut up the vocals, change the tempo, make it new. Take some lessons from that Severed Head remix that I mentioned earlier. Ultimately, this remix is representing you to a new audience, so care about it and give it maximum effort. I can't stress this enough. The client does not want an album full of remixes that all sound the same, nor do their audience. Change the music under the vocals so it gives the mood of the song something completely new. Change the arrangement, change the vocals, go crazy, have fun. When remixing, some artists try and explore the essence of the original track. What's the soul of this track? What's the soul of the song, and how can I reinterpret it? Or should you do something different and change all the chords under it so that the mood of and the soul of the song is something totally different? Just make sure that you respect the track, because your client might not like a humorous, ironic, funny remix. I sure don't. Programming tips. Change it up every 8 bars. Have a small fill at the end of each 4 bars, a slightly larger fill at the end of each 8 bars, and at the end of each 16 bars, have something spectacular. Dynamics are critical. Have a new instrument come in or out every 8 bars. Define what you consider to be a quiet level of 1 and an excitement level of 10. 1 might be a whispering vocal and nothing else. 10 is all-out war. Your track must hit 1 and must hit 10 and explore all stops in between. Have a moment of absolute silence. Play with the Fibonacci sequence. Your song should hit a climax at 5/8, and it will hit micro-climaxes within each of those 5/8. Also, be aware of the boredom enzyme. It's the idea that your brain becomes numb to any sort of stimulation after about 8 seconds. Are you aware of the pressure of your seat against your backside, or the feeling of your clothes against the skin? No, you're not, because your boredom enzyme has turned off all stimuli after about 8 seconds. Although you are aware of them now because I just reminded you that they exist, but in a few seconds you won't be. My point is that the brain turns these stimuli off, otherwise it would be overstimulated and explode, and have no bandwidth for new sensations because your brain gets really bored really quickly. And it's the same thing with music. You gotta change it up every 8 bars or your brain will become numb and it will start treating that music like background noise. Keep the remix short. Keep it under 4 minutes. Keep it punchy. In 4 minutes, you can comfortably explore 2 or 3 ideas. Keep the intro and the outro short. Remixing is a really good opportunity for you to push your boundaries and be a little influenced by your client's music. You might want to use this remix as an opportunity to gravitate towards their sound. Closing thoughts. Doing a remix is really hard. Making it work, making it not suck, it's draining. I spend 20 to 40 hours on a remix and it doesn't sound decent until I've spent like 10 hours on it. If you're out of ideas, listen to a remix that you like. Learn from it and apply these lessons. If you have writer's block or if you're in a rut, go for a walk. Always listen to music from outside the genre. Listen to Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Bootsy Collins. They will teach you about the funk. When you get a remix kit, the remix kits usually contain everything. Only use the vocals and the main riff melody. You can create everything else. Figure out what you are going to do with it before you do it. Have a rough map of where you want to go. Do you want it to sound creepy or sexy or dangerous or passive? And always be open to accidents. When you output the final audio file, make sure it's a minimum of 44.1 24-bit. Normalize it to -6 dB. Do not master it. Let your client master it. And finally, keep chipping away at it. Doing a remix, it's like learning another language. It's extremely hard to start with, but then it slowly gets easier. And again, I stress, care about the remix. Don't just knock it out. Consider what your client needs. It's their baby. Treat it with respect. I'd like to thank Damage Von Rock from Planet Damage, Jacob from Curse of Cassandra, and John from Shadow Cell Theory. These guys gave me some thoughts and asked me some questions to help me put it all together. I'm gonna be doing more things on remixing and putting sounds together and music and getting an idea and actually making it happen over the coming Patreon drops. Thank you again for being a part of this.